Welcome to Mobility Insider. I'm your host, Morten Hannesbo. Today I want to talk to you about this car, the BMW i7 fully electrical luxury sedan. But I also want to talk to you about BMW in general, luxury in general, and design philosophy. The i7 comes in three different variations. There's the eDrive 50 with rear-wheel drive. There's the xDrive 60, which we have here with four-wheel drive. And there's also the xDrive M70 with four-wheel drive and more horsepower. Those are the three ones you can have. What we have today is the i7 xDrive 60 with 544 horsepower. The starting price for this one is 171,900 Swiss francs. And if you add the equipment that this car has, it will cost you 221,330 Swiss francs. And if you add all the equipment you want, or even take the M70 xDrive version of it, you will easily get to 300,000 Swiss francs, or very close to that. And in reality, that is Bentley territory. The vehicle is massive. It's 5 meters 39 centimeters in the length, including mirrors. It's 2 meter 19 in the width, and it weighs a massive 2.8 tons or 2.9 tons, depending on how you spec it. So it is a very substantial vehicle. So in terms of the competitive set, the i7 has the Mercedes EQS, of course. It also has the Porsche Taycan, which is the same price range. It has the new Lucid Air and of course the Tesla Model S. But all of these cars are significantly smaller than the i7. This is the more substantial car. And in terms of the feel of luxury, the quality of the interior, and the way you feel when you drive this larger car, this one takes the crown as the most luxurious sporty vehicle in my opinion. The i7 is propelled by two electrical motors, one in the front and one in the rear. The one in the front gives you 258 horsepower output, and the one in the rear 313 horsepower. In total, the system gives 544 horsepower. The car has a massive battery, 101.7 kilowatt hour capacity, and under ideal conditions, that will give you a range of 624 kilometers. The charging is fairly fast. It charges with a maximum of 195 kilowatt, and you'll get a 10 to 80% charge in approximately 34 minutes. The top speed is 240 and the acceleration 0 to 100 is 4.7 seconds guaranteed by BMW, and I verified that through my own testing as well. The car offers enormous space inside the vehicle, and the design is a very interesting mixture of old school luxury and very high-tech modern design. The design of the interior, I think, is very interesting. It has this extremely modern touch with all the tech and the screens, and at the same time, it is extremely comfortable and almost old school. But the highlight of the interior are the seats. The seats are so comfortable, and combined with the design, the brown leather, with the stitching, with the perforation that is carried through the mid-console to the passenger seat, just makes the car look really exclusive. And I will tell you about the passenger seat in a minute, because it has an executive function that adds even more comfort and luxury to the i7. Now this is the lounge position, and it is very comfortable. So let's bring the seat back into its original position, and in the meantime I can talk a bit about the car seen from the rear perspective. You have plenty of storage. Also here you have great storage space, inductive charging, two cup holders. You can push it away if you want. And of course you have enormous space, which you would expect at a car of this size. Some of the nice features as well, you have charging ports hiding in here behind, and you have it on both sides. Another new feature that I've not seen in any other car before is the iPhone size control panel that you have in both doors in the rear, where you control the seat massage and also the rear seat entertainment system. It's the first car to have a cinema-like theater screen, and it is a massive 31.7 inch big. So let me take the sound away and show you what the system can do. I've now connected my laptop to the screen so I can stream content from the laptop, in this case a YouTube video I've made. You can of course also do your emails, you can watch other content, you can go through a PowerPoint presentation if you want, surf the internet and so on. This is a big screen, it does take quite some space, but yeah, it is a useful option if you spend a lot of time in the back seat and you want to be entertained. So the screen can be split depending on where you are. So if you want to see it on a full screen, you can do that. You can take the original size. That can be moved from left to right, or from right to left, or center if you want. Yeah, I think the option is definitely interesting. It's a 7,000 Swiss franc option, but I guess if you spend 200,000 on a car like this one, I assume you're also ready to spend the money to get it. One thing about these luxury sedans is that they don't have a lot of space for bulky items like a bicycle. But if you wiggle around, you will normally find enough place for it. Or you can of course use the towing hitch and you can put on a carriage. But this is how a bike would fit into this car. I will now take it out and show you some suitcases, how they fit in. See, this is a medium-sized suitcase and it actually fills up the space quite well. So it is a limited space you have for luggage in the car, but you'll be okay if you travel 2 people in the car. So looking at the sales numbers for the premium brands this year, and here I take the brands BMW, Audi and Mercedes. BMW is actually outselling the other 2 brands for the moment. And why is that? Well, a number of reasons for that. BMW has been the fastest to get new products to market. They have a multi-powertrain strategy that gives customers the choice to choose if they want to have a diesel, petrol, electrical car or a plug-in hybrid. So the number of new cars they bring to market, the technology they bring and the speed they have to do that has given them the edge over the other 2 premium brands from Germany. And this has made BMW more successful than Mercedes, so they have edged ahead of Mercedes in terms of overall sales, but also in terms of electrical vehicle part of that overall sales. And BMW is far ahead of Audi this year. I think a good question is there enough customers for this type of car out there? I'm not sure, because I think some of the upper conservative buyers, that segment, and also the nouveau riche or the social climbers may still want to actually favor the traditional powertrains or traditional cars. The car is excellent, but if I look at the sales numbers from the comparable car from Mercedes, the EQS, and also what has been realized so far with the i7, those numbers are rather small. So I think it's a question if the market is ready for this type of vehicle in this price segment. So whereas maybe for the time being the market is not ready, I think it's a matter of time, because we've seen some of the other brands, Lucid, Air or the Tesla Model S, are actually penetrating this segment. And I think with time, say within 1, 2 or 3 years, I think we will see that several customers will move from the traditional ICE cars to fully electrical vehicles also in the luxury segment. Let's talk about how the car drives. So this is a big car. It's 2.9 tons heavy. It's 5 meters 39 in the length. And Obviously, you would expect the car to feel heavy, but it doesn't. It feels like a much lighter vehicle, not small, but still very easy to handle it. It is very responsive, almost to the sporty side. You can control the programming, so it can become softer or harder as you want. Overall, it is a joy to drive. It is comfortable if you want it to be, and it is sporty if you want it to be. The air suspension manages the vehicle really well. You don't feel any bumps. It reads the road and it compensates when you have a bump or you have a hole in the road. It is one of the most sorted cars that you will find out there. The comfort level is outstanding. The first generation 7 Series was launched in 1977 by BMW, and that was then in competition with the Mercedes and the Rolls-Royce and the Bentleys. The BMW was the sporty, the more engaging cars in that segment. That was the E23, and that car has a typical 3-box design. So we got a front and a center section and a rear section, and this is the typical design that we find for luxury vehicles. If you look at a Rolls-Royce or you look at Mercedes S-Class, you have the same. You have a front bonnet, you have the passenger cabin, and you have the rear where you have space for your luggage. So those are the 3 elements of the 3-box design. And most people who think of a luxury car or a presidential limousine will typically also think of a car that has this 3-box design. That design, so the typical sedan or limousine design, has a number of benefits, both in terms of aerodynamics, also in terms of torsional stiffness of the construction, which gives you better handling and lower noise levels. And also the construction itself is less expensive to build. So those are the reasons why some of the best-selling cars in the world, including the Toyota Camry, Toyota Corolla, and of course the Tesla Model 3, all with a 3-box design, are selling so well. The i7 is the first fully electrical high-end luxury sedan. There will be others around, but for the moment there is no one else that is having an offering of this type. And by the way, how do you know that the car you see is a fully electrical and not a diesel or a petrol engined 7 Series? Well, around the logo, front and rear, there's a blue ring, and it also may say on the badge at the rear of the car, it may say i7, and the I means that the car is fully electrical. Otherwise, they do look pretty much the same, whether you have a petrol, diesel engine or electrical powertrain. And that's a philosophy that I actually have come to like. I think BMW has found a good solution, and they're onto something right here. The i7 plays in the segment where you have a lot of conservative buyers, but you also have many upcoming buyers that are moving up in society, and they'll be looking at this car. I think the combination of the sheer size of the car, combined with the monolithic design and the front grille, which is big enough to make a statement, but not in your face like in some of the other designs that you have from BMW. I think that makes the car really beautiful and likable. It really does pretty much everything really well. So for me, it's a 4-star verdict for the car. It is really excellent. One of the best cars I've ever driven. Thank you for watching Mobility Insider. Please stay tuned, and I hope you will like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.